before we get started into the questions, I want to take a minute to read some bit of biographical information about our guest speaker. General Charles Q. Brown Jr. is the commander of the Pacific Air Force's Air Component Commander for U.S. Indo-Pacific Command and Executive Director of the Pacific Air Combat Operations Staff, Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickman in Hawaii. The Pacific Air Forces is responsible for Air Force activities spread over half of the globe in a command that supports more than 46,000 airmen, serving principally in Japan, Korea, Hawaii, Alaska, and Guam. General Brown was commissioned in 1984 as a distinguished graduate of the ROTC program at Texas Tech University. He has served in a variety of positions in the squadron and wing level, including an assignment to the U.S. Air Force Weapons School as an F-16 instructor. General Brown has commanded a fighter squadron, the U.S. Air Force Weapons School, 2 fighter wings, and a U.S. Air Force's Central Command. Prior to his current assignment, he served as a deputy commander of the U.S. Central Command.
Being a leader yourself, since you've been to Italy, I believe, South Korea, all over the world, I would consider you to be an international leader. So for us, we are learning Spanish, Chinese, and English. How do you think that'll help us in the international community going forward into our futures?
What it does, it gives you a different perspective. And that's the thing that I've found, I have been able to live overseas, lived in Germany, lived in Italy, lived in Qatar, lived all across the United States. Just in the past year, I've traveled to 12 different countries in the Pacific, and I went to Antarctica and the South Pole just this past year, so I've been to every continent. The key part about the studies you do here, it gives you a different perspective about world events. And each part of the world has a different perspective, and the better you understand that perspective, the better you're able to engage in the international world. I think the one thing I've found is that every country has a little bit different look and view on things, and the more you broaden your perspective, the more effective you'll be.
We're going to toss it over to some of our other campuses so they can ask questions.
So our first question comes from the Lancaster DeSoto campus. So Lancaster DeSoto, please present your question.
My name is Addison Beasley. I'm a freshman here at ILTexas Lancaster DeSoto High School. Our question for you today is, what's a more important quality as a leader, charisma or humility?
Humility. Partly as a leader, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and realize when you make a mistake and be transparent and be willing to tell the folks that you lead that you made a mistake. And because if you don't, then they'll see right through you. You lose credibility as a leader.
Absolutely. Right. General Brown, to ask a question on that, do you think that it's possible to change? Like, if you've been going down a road where you haven't been humble as a leader, do you think it's possible to change your behavior and become an effective leader going onward?
To a point. I mean, you are who you are. And I think in some aspects, if you have a path where you're not humble, you don't have humility, you got to build it into your character. And for some folks, it's not how they either were brought up or the way they approach things. And it really starts at a young age. It starts in institutions like schools like this, where you start to build that character, and it sets your path for your future.
So do you find it advantageous for us, because we are taking 3 languages, for us to be learning these languages and to continue it as we head into college for our future careers?
I think it is. I mean, it's not only the language, but it's also what goes with the language, the culture that goes with the history, and it'll give you opportunities to open some doors that you probably wouldn't have otherwise, to make you think about what goes on in the world. For example, my wife's degree is in Spanish, and she's really good at languages, better than I am. She speaks Spanish, does some Japanese. She's lived in Japan for a year while we were dating. She's taken Arabic, she's taken French, she's taken German, she's taken Italian, and she's got probably more culture than I have because of all of those languages. She actually helps me in that regard. And so every time you take a language, what I think is you open up a door, you pull the thread. What I find is the more you figure out you figure out there's more you don't know. And by taking these languages, I think it helps us abroad and makes you more curious. So you start asking more questions and start digging into the history, start digging into the culture, start digging into what type of food do they eat in certain places. I've eaten a lot of different things that You know, it's not a Whataburger or brisket or Dr. Pepper, which are three of my favorites, by the way.
I'd like to say I speak on behalf of all the campuses and all our student body present here when we say we are very honored and we're very humbled to be able to have this opportunity and learn from you this morning.
Well, thank you for the invite. It's been a real pleasure. And hopefully something I share with you today will be useful to you as you, no matter where you are in your high school and then really throughout life. And I want to wish all of you the very best of luck.
Of course,